It's easier to swim with the current. How many times have you found yourself swimming vigorously upstream? Is it an addiction? Is it addicted to being in pain, addicted to struggle? Who knows what it is? But when you find yourself swimming upstream, unless it's absolutely necessary, it shouldn't be the norm, it should be the unique situation. I would encourage you to consider asking why. Why am I addicted to struggle? Why am I continually trying to prove myself, to prove my worth? Why am I fighting the rhythm that works best for me? I'm asking you to ask these questions of yourself because I was just having a conversation with Wanda in the other room. And she said, how come all these people like you, Tom, say the same thing, just a different way? And I said, here's a story from my past that may clarify that for you. And for those who have followed me for a long time, you may remember this story. And if you're just seeing it, you're going to learn it for the first time. Back many years ago, probably, man, I don't even know. What year are we in? 2022? Maybe 22 years ago? I was a copier salesman and then a sales manager helping copier salespeople make the largest commissions possible. Be good at the profession of selling. And I happen to have a tremendously stocked, archived, amazing library of personal development that I purchased from Nightingale Conant. And in my library, I had some amazing individuals, 3 individuals in particular in this case. So I had my sales team who was seeking to be the best at sales. I was the sales manager. I wanted to equip them with all the knowledge and insights possible to accomplish that goal. So I took 3 individuals from my Nightingale Conant library, and they were Brian Tracy, they were Zig Ziglar, and they were Tony Robbins. 3 people that I've been fortunate to meet, learn from, interact with, and take my life from where I was to where I wanted to go based upon the guidance and insights that they shared with me. So these were people that I really, truly looked up to. And I wanted to impart that on my sales team, which when I helped them, I would fulfill Zig Ziglar's quote, which says, you can have everything in life you want if you simply help enough others get what they want. As the sales manager, if I'm helping my sales team become better at sales, I in turn will benefit from that process. So I gave out the Tony Robbins tape. I gave out the Brian Tracy tape. I gave out the Zig Ziglar tape. And some were tapes, some were CDs, if I think back. And I was eager. Like I was excited for them to dig in and just come back, thinking everyone was like me. Everyone just wanted to be a better version of themselves. Everyone was eager to improve their current situation. What I found out was that's not the case. What I found out was I had to ask them numerous times, numerous days, and pretty much threaten to take it back unless they listened to it. So after day 1, hey, what'd you think? Tell me what'd you think? Oh, I didn't get a chance to listen to it. What? Like I've given you the gift of sales improvement and you're not even unwrapping it. So it boggled my mind from that perspective. Then the day 2 progressed and day 3, and it went on for almost a week. And then finally, I got some feedback, but it wasn't the feedback I ever would expect. But now I kind of expect it. So the person that I gave the Zig Ziglar tapes to, hey, so what'd you like Zig? Zig is the prolific author who's written some of the best books on sales there is up to that point. Tell me, what'd you think of Zig? Oh my gosh, here's the response. Oh my gosh, I couldn't stand that country accent. Come on, give me a break. Country hillbilly trying to tell me how to be a better salesperson. I couldn't take it. I turned it off after 5 minutes. And I made the mistake of trying to convince that person how what I've since learned is this mantra that no matter who you cross paths with, no matter who you're interacting with, who you're having a conversation with, you can do this. Take the best and leave the rest. From this conversation, from this person, from this hillbilly with the southern drawl, what is some good information that I could take from this that would help me on my path And if I don't like the other stuff, that's okay. I will suffer through it to get the end result that I'm there to do, which is what's in it for me. How can I benefit from this? Then I went to the person that had the Brian Tracy tapes. Brian, one of the best sales trainers in the world, amazing man, amazing individual. And I've learned so much from him and implemented so much from him and Zig and Tony. I said, so tell me, what'd you think of Brian? And the response was not what I thought I would expect. He said, man, I would rather sit and listen and watch paint dry than listen to Brian Tracy. He is so boring. I couldn't take it. My eyes were hurting. My ears were hurting. I turned it off after 5 minutes. And I'm sitting there like, what did I just hear? You wouldn't subscribe to what I just talked about, take the best and leave the rest for 5 minutes? You couldn't take it? He's got information. Like, this is what boggled my mind. He's got information that could help you earn more money, change your family's life. And you couldn't put up with his attitude, his boring personality. I just didn't get it. So I wasted wasted time trying to convince that person on how this could be. What if that golden nugget was in there that changed everything for you? You'd never find it because you aren't dedicated to unpack it, unravel it. So you don't know if that was waiting for you. So then I'm like, all right, Tony Robbins, this is the man. You gotta, this, all right. So Zig had the country draw. Brian was boring as all get out according to the other person. Tony, I can't wait to talk to the Tony person. Tony, tell me, what'd you think of Tony Robbins? Oh man, he's all hype. He's just big, lots of talk, and just too hyped up, and I didn't want any part of it. I turned it off after 5 minutes. I said, what? You wouldn't even listen to Tony Robbins for more than 5 minutes? Are you kidding me? Your life is like, you're here to grow and get the most sales possible, yet you won't even learn some insights from Tony? I said, okay. So I once again wasted time trying to convince that person of how and why Tony and Zig and Brian were all parts of the puzzle, pieces of the puzzle that one after the next connects you to be that better and best version of yourself. So that ties back to the intro, the text that led you here. How many times have I found myself swimming upstream? And did I listen to people that were boring? Yes. Did I listen to people that had country drawls? Yes. Did I listen to people that were hyped up maniacs? Yes. And more. You name it, I've listened to it. I've studied it. I've implemented it. I fell for one thing I heard from Tony Robbins when I was graduating from high school, 1990, in his book, his big, thick book, Awaken the Giant Within, was his story. Everything in his life changed for him once he became passionate and addicted to reading books. And I said, you know what? Okay, bet. I'm down for that. I will accept that challenge. I will read books. And at first it was boring. At first I didn't like it. But I did it long enough and consistently enough that I began to love it. I fell in love with reading books. And in doing so, it has absolutely 100% changed every aspect of my life. I can't even count like how many books, how many hours I've read, I've listened to through now all the amazing technology. I used to subscribe to Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy's Automobile University, right? Pop that cassette tape in everywhere you're driving, and while you're on the road, putting good information into your system, into your ears. And from that led me to one piece of the puzzle after the next. I finally got it. It finally clicked for me. I did have my best being yet to come. I was in the process of sculpting and creating that best version of myself. And I'm still on this journey because it never ends. Tony Robbins has a saying, CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. And that's it. Once you get that bug, you separate yourself from the rest. Once you fall in love with reading, like a lot of people dream of binge watching whatever TV show or whatever movie on their TV, I dream of just quiet time where I get to sit down and read. And I actually schedule that, and I actually do that. And I schedule time to write, and I schedule time to create videos, because it's good information in, good information out. I'm pretty much the culmination of the hundreds and hundreds of books that I read up to this point, the thousands of hours of audios and live events and daily interactions I've had with people for decades. And you can do that too. But then you reach a point where it's time to transition. You can become a consumer, which can change your life, but that settles in, that turns you into that best version of yourself. Then you can also become a producer. And it's funny because I've produced live events. I've spoken on stages all around the world. I've created numerous sales presentations. I've created numerous personal development presentations. I've transformed many people's lives from the spoken word. Yet, I've yet to create a book. It's hard to believe. I've had clients that I've helped become New York Times bestselling authors. Many of my friends are New York Times bestselling authors. Yet I don't have that answer when they ask me, Tom, when's your book coming out? Like, yeah, you know what? And I've generally wiggled myself out of that, being too busy, being too scared, I guess is really what it boils down to. Because there's really no other reason. And someone would ask, well, Tom, why would you be scared to write a book if you've spoken on stage in a Borat mankini in front of hundreds of multimillionaires? That was a pretty bold move. Writing a book doesn't compare to the boldness. Why would you be fearful of writing a book? And if I ask that question and answer it, it's multifold. One, I grew up in an age where writing a book, I didn't feel it was something I was capable of. I didn't feel I was worthy of that. I put the authors on a pedestal. And I heard the horror stories of books take, it's a birthing process. It's a whole year, 2 years, decades, all this that needs to be put in to create that book. And I thought that book meant the opus, the end all be all, solve all world problems, one size fits all book. And that's not the case. Let me grab this real quick. This will give you an example. I just interviewed, and I'll be able to share the interview that I did with my friend today, Troy Broussard. Here is a stack of Troy's books. These are not one of a kind. These are each separate books, by the way. So we've got, Defining Success. We've got the Year-End Business Building Mastery Guide. We've got Contrarian's Guide to Peak Performance. We've got The Splendid Simplicity of Subtle Selling, especially for those that don't like selling. And on and on. Each of these are a different title. The Astonishingly Influential Power of Transparent Leadership. So what you're seeing here is this is not one end-all be-all volume of a book. He wrote a book a month. And if you know Troy's story, he was also part of Encyclopedia Britannica. So what he's building up is his knowledge base, transferring his wisdom into his own encyclopedia, the Encyclopedia of Troy, per se. And this opened my eyes up to recognize I don't have to wait. I don't have to have everything in one book. I don't have to be known for just one book. I can be that prolific writer and write many books on many different topics. And this makes it so much easier for me to make the commitment that next month I am going to finish my first of many books. And just like anything, we go through the 4 stages. Anything that we do that's new to us, we go through the 4 stages of learning. We were unconsciously incompetent. We didn't know what we didn't know. Then we're consciously incompetent. We clearly know what we don't know. Then we become consciously competent. With work, with effort, we become better and we become pretty good at it. But then over time, we become unconsciously competent. That's where you know how to do it. Just like I turn this on and just start talking. Why? Because I've done it for so many years. I'm in that unconsciously competent category. You could name a topic and I could talk for hours on that same topic. Matter of fact, I've been at live events. Just a couple years ago, I was at a live event. And it was a 3-day live event and then a three-day post event. I did some training for the 3 days. And then they asked me, hey, something came up. The trainer that was coming in for the 3 days following wasn't there. Do you have any content? Can you stick around and do the training? And I worked out a deal and I trained for an additional 3 days straight. You pick the topic, I can talk about it. And I can talk intelligently about it. Why? Because of my personality, my experience, my perspective. And guess what? You have those same 3 characteristics. You may have a different journey. Of course, you have a different journey, but your personality is unique. Your experiences are unique, and your perspective is unique. You put yours out there, and just like I said that example in the beginning, where people thought Zig, he was country bumpkin, I couldn't listen to him, and Brian Tracy was so boring, I couldn't listen to him, and Tony Robbins was too hyped up, I couldn't listen to him. Bottom line is, everyone's saying the same stuff. What resonates and separates me from everyone is my personality, my experience, my perspective. And that's the same thing that separates you from everybody else. So I'm sharing this for a couple reasons. One, I've been sending daily emails out this entire year, and I'm actually tired. I have bags on my eyes. I was on the West Coast yesterday, got back here, or I don't even know, the days are mixed together. From East Coast to West Coast, West Coast to East Coast. It's crazy. Karen, what's happening? Good evening. So I've been writing those daily emails, but it hit me. Wait a second. I don't have to be the person who can talk on any topic for hours, who isn't the fastest typer. I can be me, talking, sharing stuff via video right here, like we're doing right now. Oren, Checkmate Hudson, what's up, man? Happy New Year. Look forward to connecting with you sometime soon. And I hope this information is somewhat helpful for you as well. Oren's out there changing people's lives. He stepped into his knowing of what was his to do, which was help troubled, challenged children in the Atlanta area and around the world learn through the game of chess how to think one step ahead and get them out of the gangs, get them out of the drugs, get them out of the guns and all that stuff, and pull their pants up and take this journey seriously. And he's transformed many lives. So I didn't expect him to be here. I kind of butchered what he does, but he does it like no other. And he actually quit his job of being a state trooper to do this for the kids. I appreciate you too, my friend. I appreciate you more than you know. So he took that bold move and stopped being what he was being, that state trooper, because he witnessed some kids get shot over a small amount of money. And it just didn't settle with him. He said, you know what, it's time for me to do something about this. I don't want more kids and more families to suffer through this. So he started his movement, and the Be Someone movement, besomeone.org, has impacted so many lives in a positive way. The testimonials are just absolutely phenomenal. So kids that were on a path to either being dead soon or in prison are now on a whole new path and have a whole new life. Why? Because Oren stepped into what he knew was his to do. And he says there, brains before bullets. Amen. And that's it. So Oren, I appreciate you. And so do the families, and so do the kids that you've helped. And you've probably seen them kids growing up into adults. They had a life instead of being in the morgue or being in the jail cell. And it's incredible what you're doing. So besomeone.org. That will inspire you like nobody's business. And that's what I'm here to do here today is, you don't have to do it as drastically as Oren did. Say, you know what, I'm pulling out, I'm quitting that job, and I'm going to start this new passion. But you have your unique personality. You have your unique experience. You have your unique perspective that I dare say, you have a book inside you. I dare say, I know that it's time. It's time to get that thing out. And you're gonna be in that unconscious incompetent stage. You don't know what to do. I don't know what I don't know. Then you get into the right fold. You get into people that know what to do, and you become consciously incompetent. Now I know what I don't know. Then you work hard and you get that thing out and you become consciously competent. And that's all we're asking. And I'll say this, just like Oren is impacting lives, I know your book is going to impact the people that you are here to impact. So I've made a dedication that the month of February is it. The line is in the sand, and I'm doing these on a regular basis because this is going to hold me to the fire. I'm a man of my word. If I'm telling you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. and I'm not going to let myself wiggle out of this one. It's been many, many years, almost 15 years, that I haven't written my freaking book yet. No longer. February is the month. And here's the funny part. As soon as I made that decision, it's like it opened up a whole nother different part of my brain, that the brain had like the barrier on it, like the Titanic that's going down, and they're locked in. They can't get out. But when I made that decision, the gate opened. Like it's amazing. Like the gate opened, and now I know what the books are. And it's just funny. Once you make that decision, it opens up the gate to parts of your mind that you had blocked off because you didn't need it. So I'm telling you. So I joined. So my friend Troy, who wrote all these books, and I interviewed him earlier today. These are all separate books. And this is you don't have to do a book a month like he does, but you can have the encyclopedia of you. What are the topics that you could talk about for a long time that are impactful, that will help people get from where they are to where they want to be? Pick that topic and write that book. And then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. Before you know it, you've become a prolific author as well. So I was out visiting Troy in Oregon just last week, and he and his business partner Ben Settle, they're both brilliant, amazing people. B, Ben is known as the email marketing guy. This guy is an intense copywriter. He is another prolific book. He's written fiction, he's written nonfiction, just go on his way to his office. All of his works are just, there's so many. He's incredible. But so Troy is like the David Goggins of business, and the David Goggins of business book writing. When you're around David, I'm sure you're going to get healthier and you're going to step up your game. And when you're around Troy, holy cow, my mind was still racing. So before I left Oregon, he wouldn't let me wiggle out. He's like, hey, Tom, so February, what do you think? That the month? I was like, well, I got some stuff going on. I'm kind of busy. He's like, hey, but I don't want to hear it. February is your month to get it done. You on board? Yeah. All right. He felt me trying to wiggle off the hook, and he set that hook. He set it, and I'm making that commitment. So I've joined this program, and I'm asking you to go on this journey with me, with Troy, and with some others in this amazing group where it's time. No more screwing around. It's time to go all in and become that prolific person. So that's the URL right there, cyafb.com/prolific. And you'll see exactly what's going on. And it's going to be powerful. And I, on the way home, on the flight home, I already had some good ideas. And like I said, when I made that choice, the gate opened up. My brain is now accessing other parts as I progress from being unconsciously incompetent to consciously incompetent. And then throughout the weeks ahead, I'm going to go from consciously incompetent to becoming consciously competent. And I've been doing emails every day. And then part of the reason I did this video was stop fighting the current. Like, don't fight the current. I'm not the fastest typist, but I am pretty fast thinking. I am pretty fast impromptu. So embrace that. Be the person who speaks it, who can get it transcribed, who can then take those transcriptions and put it out into the world through books. And the funny part of that is, I've already done so many hours from stage. I've already done so many hours over the phone, over live video like this, that I already have content that is already transcribed that could be repurposed and put out in a very powerful manner on specific topic after specific topic. Pick the topic, write it. Simple as that. But it first begins with that decision. Nothing changes unless you're ready to change. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Been 15 years, I'm writing a fucking book. That's how it works. All right, so the question is, how about you? Ready to join me? Click on that link, cyafb.com/prolific. See what we got going on. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be a great year. Let's make it happen. Until next time, make today great.